website business starting from the ground up. Let's start with hosting. Since a website needs to have files and a database that are accessible to the public through their internet access, it needs a physical place to be. This is called a hosting account. There are lots of different levels and types of hosting, and we'll go over these in detail in the next section. For now, just know that a hosting company provides a server connected to the internet in such a way that allows many website visitors at a time to load the website fast. When a website visitor wants to visit a website, they either click or type an address or a URL to get there. URL stands for Universal Resource Locator, and it's just a quick way to say web address or domain name. An example of a URL is google.com. One of the requirements of having a public website is ownership of a domain name, which is a specific URL that you or your clients can register using a company called a domain name registrar. Some examples of a registrar are GoDaddy.com, NetworkSolutions.com, and many others. You rent or register a domain name for a specific period of time and then point the domain name to your server or hosting account so that your website can have its own URL or web address. When we are developing a website locally or before our client has a domain name yet, we can use a temporary domain, and when the website is finished, we can change the website slightly to take it live under the real domain name. During this course, you can use real domain names that you register yourself, or just use testing URLs to create the websites we'll make during the learning process. If you do use a real domain name, you'll have to have a paid or trial hosting account to which you can point your domain name, and we'll learn how to set up hosting, servers, and development environments in the next section. In the last section, you learned about how WordPress works with a file structure and a database to output a website. You also saw how themes and plugins can be added to design a look and feel, as well as provide specific functionality for your websites. In this course, you'll have an opportunity to use a whole bunch of premium themes and plugins to create advanced functionality in your website projects. Your student's sandbox at wpdevcourse.com contains your development sandbox and all the premium tools we'll be learning in this course. After this video, go to wpdevcourse.com and click the Students button to get your sandbox site ready. There's an exclusive code for students of this course you'll need to use to gain permission and set up your sandbox environment. It's located in the resource document in the next section. Let's compile all the other tools you need for building websites for clients. First, go get a text or code editor. You can use the simple text editor that comes with your computer, Notepad on Windows, or TextEdit on the Mac. But as I said in the last section, you'd be better served by getting a code editor that formats the code for the documents you'll be editing in a more readable way. For Windows, you can try Notepad++ or Atom.io. But don't rely on WordPad that comes with Windows or any word processor like Microsoft Word. These don't do the same thing and can insert formatting characters that aren't part of the code you need. On the Mac, there's Text Wrangler, and Atom works as well. I love the look and feel of Atom, and it's available at atom.io. All these options are free. Here's what the WordPress config file looks like in Atom, and here's what it looks like in Notepad++ for Windows, but here's what it looks like in Notepad itself. Not formatted, and not as good looking or easy to edit as it looks like in Atom. Download one of these code editors now and install one on your computer. The URLs to all these code editors are in the resource document in the next section. To set up an FTP program, one of the best ways is to choose an add-on for the Firefox browser called FireFTP. Install Firefox from mozilla.org/Firefox if you don't have it already, and open it up. At the top, you can click Tools and Add-ons, and Firefox will open a new tab, and you can find the search bar at the top and type FireFTP and hit enter, and you can install the add-on. You can get to the FireFTP add-on by clicking the menu drop-down at the top right here, but I've already dragged it up into my toolbar. So if you click Customize on that menu right there, you'll be able to drag and move your toolbar items to and fro. This is where it probably starts, and if you drag that up somewhere on your toolbar, that'll provide you with a Fire FTP button in Firefox. That way, anytime you need it, the FTP program is right at your fingertips, and it will open in a new tab. There it is. The left side are the files on my computer, and I can set up accounts here, connect to them this way, and files on the server are on the right-hand side. Another option is to use a standalone FTP program like FileZilla, available at filezilla-project.org. Go ahead and get yourself set up with an FTP program on your computer now. In the last section, I introduced you to a whole bunch of options for compressing and resizing images. Let's take a look at two of them and try optimizing an image for the web yourself. If you have Adobe Photoshop, follow along in the next section, and if not, open up Pixlr.com and optimize your image using the steps for Pixlr.com using the Pixlr editor in the next section. First, let's get a large image that's too big in terms of both file size and image size and place it in a folder on your computer. There's one you can download and use at wpdevcourse.com/bigimage.jpg. If you don't have one of your own ready, you can just use this. Right-click the image and say Save Image As. Find a place on your computer where you want to save it, and there you go. This image is straight out of my camera, a full 3.6 megabytes in size and more than 3,400 pixels wide. For any image on a website, the file size should be at largest less than 300K or kilobytes and less than 2,000 pixels wide, even for full screen images. I like to make my web images 1,600 pixels wide, and I try to get them as small as possible, under 200K in file size if possible. Image editing programs can do this with most photos without losing any image quality. These smaller compressed images will load faster for website visitors, making for a better website viewing experience. Watch as I open this image in Photoshop, and if you have the program, follow along and do this to your own image. Once I have the image open in Photoshop, I'll click Image, Image Size, and under the width, I'll put 1600 and just hit OK. Now it's showing it to me at 25%, so if I look at it at 100%, you can see it's plenty large for a full screen background image. Now I'll click File, Save for Web and Devices. This will optimize the image and show me an optimized version if I like. I can go up here and click JPEG. It'll show me the image at full size so I can browse around to the part that's in focus, and I can look under JPEG at my settings. If I hit medium, I can see that that'll be an 84K image, and the quality is very good, nice and small. If I want to get a little bit higher quality, I might go up to high, and that's 221. In fact, I think it looks really good under medium right here, and then I'll click Save. When I save this file on my computer, I'll have a small optimized image for my website. Pixlr Editor at Pixlr.com is very much like Photoshop, but opens within a browser window instead of being a standalone program. If you navigate to Pixlr.com, you can launch the web app under Pixlr Editor. You can use the welcome pop-up to click Open an Image from your computer, and you'll see your image pop up much like it does in Photoshop. Let's find my image here, big image. Click Image and then Image Size. Right here I can put 1600 pixels as I did before, and leave the Constrain Proportions box checked. That means that it won't distort or stretch the image at all. It'll keep it in the same proportions. Now that that's a smaller image, in Pixlr I can click File, Save, and in the dialog box it'll give me a quality slider. I can see that this will be 211 kilobytes. If I pull it down just a little bit, I get 158. Great. Let's go ahead and save that in this web folder, and we can go and see what it looks like after it's finished working. And here it is, big image. Let's take a look. Unlike Photoshop, it doesn't give you a live optimized version that you can look at, but you can experiment with quality and file size balance to get yourself a nice image optimized for a website. If you use Microsoft Office with Excel spreadsheets, you can use existing templates for quotations and invoices. Open a new document in Excel and look around under the available templates. I'll hit File, New, and you can see I can open just a blank spreadsheet or some other templates here. Under Business, it's searching office.com since I'm online, or you can use the search bar, and you can see that there's a whole bunch of templates that you can choose from. If I search for invoice, I can find the one that I usually use, invoice that calculates total. And then you can download it and it'll save it as a template in Excel. I also use one for price quotations and proposals. If you search for quotation, I use one called price quotation without tax. Very similar to the invoice, so I can keep my branding the same, but it's a quotation. You can experiment to find what works for you, but either of these can use a logo and can be customized for your business. Once I've created an invoice for a client, I just click File, Save As, and save the document as a PDF. Then it can't be edited and the client can open it up and pay using the methods I specify. You can also do this using the free Google Drive documents. Navigate to drive.google.com and log in with a free Google account or sign up if you don't have one. If you get back to their welcome page after signing in, click the menu grid at the top right and then click Drive. Click New at the top left and open up a new Google Sheet. You can do a Google search for Invoice for Google Sheets, and there are lots of templates that you can use for quotations and invoicing. You can save a master copy in Google Drive and use the Make a Copy function when you need to make a new invoice. Once you have a new one finished, you can click File, Download As, and choose PDF to download a finished invoice to send to your clients via email. I receive a lot of payments from clients via check, but at times you'll want to be able to take a credit card payment. If you're just starting out, it can feel like a big step to accept credit cards through a merchant account at your bank, and if you research it, it's pretty expensive and complicated, with applications and credit checks to do. PayPal and Stripe are two great payment processors that have made accepting credit card payments available to everyone, without a hassle or any upfront fees. You can set up PayPal to take both one-time and recurring payments very quickly and easily. They charge the seller, that's you, a small fee for processing the credit card, and they take that percentage out of the payment after it's made. They don't charge the buyer at all. The fee isn't any more expensive than a traditional payment processing system like a merchant account at a bank. Plus, your clients can feel comfortable with the security of their information, as PayPal keeps it secure and you can't actually access their credit card information at all. PayPal takes care of it. You can also send invoices via email through PayPal, allowing your customers to just click a link in the email to pay you directly through the PayPal website. Go to paypal.com and click Sign Up at the top right. Choose Business Account and then click Continue and choose PayPal Payments Standard. Follow the prompts to set up your account, attach and verify a bank account for deposits, and you'll be set to take credit cards. PayPal Payments Standard is all you need to take recurring payments for website maintenance or hosting for your clients, as well as one-time payments for web design and implementation. In this video, we went over and compiled a lot of the tools we'll need to create our complete WordPress website business. From hosting and domain registration information to the WPDevCourse.com Student Sandbox resource and lots of free tools, we've assembled everything you need for your website business. Next, we'll dive deeply into how to host client websites, build your first WordPress installation manually on your computer in a local development environment, and get your Student Sandbox set up and